a lot of things are happening. A lot of changes coming to the truck setup. So step one was take off the awning. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take off the roof rack. And then I got somebody coming from Facebook Marketplace to potentially buy the camper shell. So that is the first step of this process.
Yeah, but you gotta hold it for like forever. Not when you walk. Don't walk. You're actually doing good.
All right, the truck feels naked like this. You see this? Without the roof rack, without the awning, and it's gonna feel totally distant or weird without anything on here for a few weeks, because the very moment I got this truck, this camper shell got taken off of my charcoal Tacoma and placed immediately on this Tacoma. So I haven't actually driven this truck without a camper shell on it since the day I bought this truck. So it's gonna be strange driving it for a few weeks like that, but stick around because what's coming is gonna be so worth it. I'm gonna take this camper off. Got Carlos over here with me, helping me out. You may remember him from like 1 or 2 videos about a year ago, probably. Yeah. Fishing for tarpon. But it's time to take these windows off and get this camper shell off the truck.
Yeah. I was kind of slacking on all the yards I had, man. Like around the time y'all told me not to cut it no more.
Yeah. I know you told me there was only a few you were doing left.
Yeah. Right after you told me that, I kind of told everybody that I'm done.
Yeah. I figured honestly that you were probably gonna stop anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's got a little bit of a channel. Yeah. It's not that heavy, but when you take like lifting it off with all the windows on was super heavy. When I took them off, it was much lighter. Like me and one person have been able to do it before.
Is this fiberglass?
Yeah. They say it weighs like 380 pounds. Toolbox from Harbor Freight. Not sponsored, but please, Harbor Freight, sponsor me. Use enough of your tools to make it legit. I don't know what I'm really gonna use this little toolbox for, but I saw it and it was a deal of the day for like 13 bucks and I couldn't pass it up. But I'm sure I could use it for like markers or fly tying material or tools, I should say. It's gonna be a nice piece to the kit. All right. So I've gotten 2 of the windows off. Now it's time to take off the tailgate window and then loosen the brackets to get the camper shell off of the truck before the sun goes down, because it's starting to get dark real fast. Not a big fan of this time of year when it gets dark really early and it somehow just happens out of nowhere. 3 windows out. This one I can't take off yet because I got to get the camper off the truck. However, got the 3 windows off, got the hardware off that attaches it to the truck. Now we are going to pull this off. I'm probably going to back the truck up under the carport and then pull it off and try to set it on the table and hope the table doesn't collapse. It's a 5-foot table, it's a 5-foot bed. Not even sure if it'll fit. I should probably try to measure it real quick. If not, I got to find something else because I cannot drive like this now because I already loosened all the hardware and everything. So got to figure out where to put this. That looks like it might be less than 5 feet now that I look in there after taking everything off and looking at it from the side. I got this sander. I believe, if I recall, this was actually one of you guys bought this off my Amazon wish list that I had at the bottom of some of my videos for the John boat rebuild. I believe, if I recall, it was probably James Page that bought this, or Gary Ward, one of you 2 guys, if I recall. Exactly, if it wasn't you guys, I'm sorry. So many of you bought stuff off of that list that I'm very thankful for. But I got a DeWalt orbital sander and I'm going to put this to use right now on the camper shell. I bought this camper for $500 off of Facebook Marketplace about 5 years ago. And the guy who I bought it off of had it listed. He thought it was for an older Tacoma, and he had priced it with those of the first gen Tacoma. So I noticed on the photo that there was the little back lip along the bottom of the back window, and I knew that that meant that this camper shell was actually for the third gen Tacoma. So I was able to get this camper shell for only $500. Now, when I went to sell this thing, I didn't know what to value it at, so I started doing some research, and I found out that this very camper goes for $38.99 brand new, starting. That means not painted. That means with the very minimal upgrades, features. This one is the XQ, if I recall, 100 XQ, which is the more top of the line Leer camper that has the body lines that flow with the truck, and it matches the windows. It's the high-end camper shell. So when I went to list this thing, I really initially was gonna list it at about 1,600 bucks, and then Sean from Smith reached out to me. He's like, buddy, I actually just spent $2,900 on a used one of the same exact camper a couple weeks ago. So he talked me into raising the price up, and I did. And because I have a past in automotive painting, I offered to paint it for whoever bought it. I was asking 2,500 bucks painted, and this gentleman by the name of Jim approached me, and he offered me 2,200 bucks painted for the camper shell, and I agreed. Now, after going on the mission of having to go out and spend a couple $100 on paint materials, and now spending a day and a half worth of work to prep and paint this thing, I kind of regret offering that. I probably should have just taken $2,000 flat, even for the camper shell, in just gray, and let him go on his way and have it color matched. Actually, Jim let me know that he was going to go buy a different one off of Marketplace for $3,000 before he found mine. So even though I only paid 500 bucks for it, and part of me wants to feel guilty about selling it for more, selling this thing for 2,200 bucks is gonna help me offset the cost of driving to Colorado. So I went ahead and I listed this thing with the hopes of selling it and utilizing those funds to get me to Colorado and back to Florida. So here I am, sanding down, scuff padding, masking this thing off to go ahead and paint it black. I got to dig out all my tools that I haven't used in quite a while, but I'm gonna need them anyway to paint the Ginu and to paint the BRS. So I guess this just gets me dirty again. It's gonna help in that regard. So let me know in the comments what you think. Should I have just offered it to him for $2,000 as is, or help him out and paint this thing for essentially 200 bucks is what I'm actually painting for free. It cost me $200 worth of materials to paint this thing, and a day and a half worth of labor in between the rain. It's been raining, so I took it off the truck yesterday. Now I finally got a window to go ahead and prep it, and it seems like I'm gonna run out of daylight to be able to paint it today, so I'm probably gonna have to paint it tomorrow, weather permitting. And I really just want to get this thing out of here. I actually installed these Thule rails on this camper shell myself, and when I installed them, I sealed them to make sure that there's no leaks that get inside. So I don't want to remove them and then jeopardize the good bond and seal that I got on there and have to reseal it again. So I'm just gonna mask it off and paint around it. I am very good with masking tape, as I used to do a lot of custom graphics on boats and cars, which is pretty much all masking and painting around the masking tape. So